In the last video, we talked about this population growth, and now we will talk about population distribution. Now, what is population distribution? Population distribution is how the population is spread all over the world. I mean, where it is more concentrated and where it is less concentrated. So that's about the population. As you can see here, the way in which people are spread across a given area. Of course we will look at the world also, and then we will also look at the particular region, India, India and Asia, or we will see Africa and South America, North America, Europe, Russia, and Oceania. So we will see. Now as you can see, this is a map of our world, and there are different regions here. You can see there are different regions marked by different colors. For example, this Antarctica and this Greenland, this is very gray type. So this gray type represents uninhabited. And then there is this India is here. You can see India is very dark. So India have a over 100. Like India have a high density of population. India and this part of this eastern part of this eastern part of the Asia, and Europe. Europe will also have a density though less than the Asia, this part of the Asia, and other than even the Canada have very low population density, as you can see Canada, and America have a bit more than Canada, but it's also low, and South America it's also low, and this is the Sahara Desert part, which is very less densely populated, and the and this part of the Africa is a bit more populated, but still it's very less. So as you can see, the whole distribution of density, population density around the world. Now, if we look at the share of population continent wise, so in 1950, you can say this is the data of 1950. The population was 2.5 billion, and around 50% of that population was in Asia. So Asia comprised of 55% population that time, and this second highest was of the Europe. This is the Europe. Second highest was of the Europe population, and then 977. Now, if we look at the 2010 data, 2010 data, the population is 6.9 billion, and around 60% of that population is living in Asia. And so the percentage share of the Asia have increased from this to this, and the Europe have almost have halved its population share from 22 to 11, and the Africa have also seen a rise in their population share. Around 15% of the 6.9 billion lived in the Africa in 2010, and other than that, this North America also saw a decrease, and this Latin America and the Caribbean countries show an increase of about 2% in the population share. Now, if we look at the 2050, which is a predicted data, again, and now the Asia will have a decrease in the population share from 60 to 54, and Africa, the population share of Africa will upgrade to 25. You can see, and the Europe will continue. The population share of Europe will continue to decline in 2050, and it will left to the 8, and the of North America it will remain same, and this Latin America and Caribbean countries will show a decline of 1%. Now, if we look at the 21,000, which is about 80 years from now, so this is a predicted data, as I say. The population share of Asia will only remain 43, and of the Africa it will rise to 39%. And at that time, the population will be 10.9 billion. And other than that, this is the share of the other three continents of Europe, North America, and Latin America. Now, if we look at the population density of India. We just talked about this world, and now we will see of the India. Later on, we will also see of the world again. where we will look at the data and we will look at the major countries also. So in India, you can see this northern plain here, the northern plain with the higher density. You can see here, it is Bihar. Of Bihar, you can see the population 1102, which is a very very high. And the and the West Bengal again have the density of more than 1,000. It is 1029, and you can see in the map also uh, that the density is very much in. You can see it is more red. So the more red areas are the highly densely populated, and there are some regions and also like in mid which are densely populated, like in Madhya Pradesh and here and here. And this year Kerala part is also a bit. The southern part is also a bit more populated than the other regions. Now you will see here that the coastal regions are more populated. You can see the coastal regions are more populated than the inner regions. So this is a really important factor. We will now look at it. So now you can see the data. Andhra Pradesh have the three density of 300, Assam 397, Haryana 573, Punjab ki 550 density. So UP it's 828. But I think the some part of UP also have more than 1,000, like the part sharing with the Bihar. So it's like not the regular, not the uniform in the whole state. It's somewhere it is more, somewhere it is less. So the average is 828. So we looked at the population density of the India. Now let's move on. Now, as I just mentioned, that coastal the population in the coastal areas is a lot higher, a lot more than the inner areas. So you can see the 44% of the world's population live within the 150 kilometer of the coast. As you can see, the coast are seen in this area. These are the coast. We are here talking about the 150 kilometer. If we increase the distance to the 200 kilometer, then more than half the world's population, over half the world's population lived along the coastline within the 200 kilometer of a coastline. So you can see the 50% of the world population is living in the coastline areas near the seas, under the 200 kilometer from the seas. It is said that these areas, these coastal regions, will decide the future of the world. For they are sharing 50% of the world population. Now, we see that there are some countries of which 76 to 100% population lives along the coastal areas. Like these are the countries which you can see are marked by the yellow regions here. So these countries or these areas, the population in these areas and countries, the population 76 to 100% of the population is living along the coastal regions. Now 100 is a bit more optimistic. It is, as you can say, for small islands, nations where no data was provided, coastal population percent has been assumed 100%. Like if there is small islands and the people living there, that is almost a coastal line. So 100% is of that those small islands. And other than the 51 to 75% is also some like of Madagascar. It is the Madagascar of which 51 to 75% population lives under the 200 kilometer from the sea. And then this region and here this. And then there are also some countries where 26 to 50% of the population lives along the coastline, like in this the America part here and here. So you can see that the coastline region is very important in the population share. Like these are also very densely populated. So this was all about this. Now this is our next topic. Now let's have another look at the world density. Is by World in Data website, and you can see here If you look at the Asia continent, then India have about 473 people per kilometer square. That is the density of population density of India in 2022. And now the Bangladesh more than 1,000. It is around 1,300 people per kilometer square. And Bangladesh is the most densely populated country of the world. It has, as you can see, 1,289 people per kilometer square, so almost 1,300 density. And then if you look at the Pakistan, it have around 300 people per kilometer square, and then Japan it have 344, and South Korea have more than 500, 525, 26, and the North Korea have 215. China have 153 people per kilometer square, that means less denser than the India, and Israel have 412, and this is the Indonesia which have 150. Now let's look at the North America. In North America, United States have only 36, very spread, very less dense or least dense populated areas. 360, and this is the Mexico have 67, and the Canada 4.28. I mean, only 5 people living in per kilometers. Now, if you look at this South America, South America, Ecuador has 72, Brazil 25. Let's see Europe. In Europe, you can see the Ireland have 72, and then the UK have 283 population density, and the United Kingdom have 283. Netherlands have 511 population density. 202 of is of Italy, and this is the let's have a look at the Oceania. The Papua New Guinea have 20, and the Australia have only of 4 people, and New Zealand have around 18 population density. So that's all in this video. We talked about this population distribution around the world. We'll meet you in the next video. Thank you and have a wonderful day.